Hey guys, welcome back to another Operation Arsenal video. Today we will be reviewing the game we just played against Blackpool in the FA Cup. Of course, we're out of the Carabao Cup. We lost to Tottenham, which still stings a little bit, but we are still, of course, in the FA Cup, and hopefully this is the start of a nice winning streak and hopefully us lifting the trophy. You never know. Now, Blackpool, 3-0 was the result. Away to Blackpool, you just kind of go into these games as an Arsenal fan just thinking, it could be one of those, couldn't it? I sat down this morning and I thought, okay, Blackpool away. If we lose this game, that is absolutely shocking. Really embarrassing. And you could see that a lot of fans were very relieved when we scored that first goal because there was no upset to be had today. I feel like although 3-0 is a very flattering result, we could have scored more. I still think Blackpool probably should have scored a couple as well. There were moments of really poor football today from Arsenal. I thought a lot of our big players that started didn't really put a good shift in, but some of them did. And, you know, to get a 3-0 win in an FA Cup game where, you know the magic of the Cup, you know the giant killings that we always see every season, it wasn't to be today. So I'm really, really relieved at that. And hopefully this is the start of a nice winning streak. And hopefully we continue our great record in the FA Cup. I believe I heard during the match this was 25 games in a row where well, I'm saying this the wrong way around, but we've lost 2 in 24 games. So it's pretty good in the FA Cup to go 24 games and only lose 2 of them. I'm pretty sure that's, you know, right up there with some of the best form in this competition in a long, long time. And of course, Arsenal have won it many, many times. But I want to say, especially to the Blackpool fans, that I know you've had your glory days and it wasn't too far away. It wasn't actually that long ago that they were in the Premier League. And I know they're not quite there at this point. But, do you know, based on tonight's performance, I think that a lot of the players that played were very good today. And I think a lot of the fans can go home proud of this team because it wasn't, you know, the Arsenal youth against Blackpool tonight. It was, I would say, at least half strong side for Arsenal. We had half of our team with experienced, pretty much first team players, and then you had some of the younger players like Willock, like Nketiah, but players like Iwobi starting, Kolasinac, who else would get into our first team? I guess Iwobi does get into the first team at the moment. We'll see during the next few weeks in this January transfer window, of course. Sokratis gets in. Arguably, I would say Lichtsteiner doesn't, of course, when Bellerin is fit, but right now he's in the first team. What I'm trying to say is, though, Blackpool came up against Arsenal and probably expected a young Arsenal side, and they kind of got that, but actually, you know, with Petr Cech in goal and, you know, Lichtsteiner starting, we had a lot of our experienced players, and they really didn't deserve to be smashed 3-0. I don't think that's a fair result at all, and it doesn't reflect the performance that Blackpool had. I thought at some points throughout this game they looked pretty good. So I hope to see Blackpool re-emerge as, you know, the team they once were a couple of, well, maybe what was it, a decade ago? Something like that, not too long ago. I'd love to see them back there. I think it will be a struggle for them. There's a lot of other teams around that part of the league or that area of the league that are equally looking okay at the moment. So we will see. But 3-0 is definitely flattering, to say the least. It wasn't our best performance. But overall, I was happy with the lineup. It was good to see some of the players that don't normally get starts. I thought Willock was incredible today. He looks to be a real young talent for us, a good prospect for the future. He got himself 2 goals today. Could have had the hat-trick. He did find the net again, but it was ruled offside. It was Kolasinac who played the ball into him, and Kolasinac, when he received his pass, was offside. So a little bit of a shame that Willock didn't get that hat-trick. That would have been great to see. I thought Iwobi had a very, very good game as well. We're all critical of him when he's bad, but we should be giving him credit when he's good. He was, I would argue, one of the best players on the pitch today. I know he's up against Blackpool, not the best defence in England, but he showed that he is capable of doing good things. And I do like Iwobi's attitude. He never stops, he keeps running, and he probably could have got a little bit more out of today's game in terms of assists, goals, but he still had a very good game. Probably goes down for me as the best player for Arsenal in an Arsenal shirt today. Now, Nketiah, I wanted to talk about Nketiah because this isn't the first time I've thought this. The guy's brilliant. Don't get me wrong. When you look at Nketiah's record, especially for the under-21s, the under-20s, the under-19s, I think all of those records are very strong in his favour. He's a very good goal scorer, but every time I watch him play for the first team, there's something. I don't know what it is. I almost feel like it's the lack of experience. He doesn't know where to be sometimes. He should be scoring. He should be scoring tonight, and I would have loved to have seen Nketiah get on the score sheet as well. You could see he was really disappointed when he came off for Lacazette. Yeah, Nketiah is a bit of an odd one. I think he will come good for us, but maybe could do with a loan out. Maybe, this January, maybe even tonight was a bit of a wake-up call for him. Maybe he should be going to Emery and saying, look, I haven't been playing very well for the first team. I'm not match sharp. I'm not playing enough minutes. Can I go out on loan to an Aston Villa? Aston Villa are actually going to be losing Tammy Abraham, potentially. So maybe Nketiah could go there and do a job for Villa. I think he'd be great in the Championship. I think he would get a lot of goals. So, although Nketiah didn't have a great game tonight, hasn't had many fantastic games for Arsenal in the first team, the quality is there. I just feel like he's a little bit rusty and maybe not quite ready for this first team yet. I don't know. Maybe I'm being harsh. It's a difficult one for these young players because we have so many good young players at the club. Nketiah is definitely one of them, and didn't see anything tonight. It was a little bit disappointing, if you ask me. Sokratis, I've got to talk about this guy because he had a very off game against Liverpool, I would say, and maybe a couple of games here and there where he hasn't been up to his usual leading role and his leading self, but today he was absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love Sokratis. When he plays like he did today, any chances that came Blackpool's way, Sokratis was nearby. There were a couple of moments where it was nothing to do with Sokratis, where Blackpool maybe could have done better, but so many times, especially in the final 20 minutes, 15 minutes of this game, Sokratis made so many tackles, some of them in the box, where he is timing his slide tackles perfectly. He's shouting orders, he's organising the defence, and he is so, so good. I just wish we bought him as a 27-year-old in his prime. It's a shame that we're only going to get him at his best for 2 years at best. So I love the guy. I think he's incredible, and it was nice to see him get some more minutes today. I know that Mustafi's probably be back for the next game, and I really, really hope that we keep playing Sokratis. Whoever he's partnered up with, I think Mustafi is his best partner. I probably wouldn't go with Koscielny anymore. I don't know. It's almost like who's the worst out of Koscielny, Mustafi. Who do you play? Who's the worst, So I think Sokratis gets into the team. He has to be our main centre-back this season. And I'm hearing talks that we're making a signing. Arsenal will be making a signing in the next few days. But guess what? It's a midfielder / winger. We are apparently looking at Denis Suarez from Barcelona, who have pre-contract agreements with Rabiot from PSG. So Rabiot's going to Barcelona starting of next year. Unless he's going now for a bit of money. I'm not actually 100%... I haven't checked that. I'm not 100% sure. But I know Rabiot has agreed to go to Barcelona. And therefore, I guess that's the final nail in the coffin for someone like Denis Suarez, who already struggles to get in that team. Emery's worked with him in the past. Apparently wants him at Arsenal. And he will be our Aaron Ramsey replacement / Mesut Ozil replacement at some point. I don't know how I feel about this because, when you hear that Arsenal are making a signing, you expect at least it to be a defender, right? Because we so obviously need one. But looks like we're going in for Denis Suarez. I don't know how much it's going to be. And the reports are only rumours at the moment. But it's looking quite likely at this point. So we'll see. We'll see how he gets on. It's going to be interesting seeing how he gets into this team. We do play a lot of defensive midfielders. You think, El Neni, Xhaka, Torreira, even Ramsey. Guendouzi's a bit defensive at times. It'd be nice to get a player like Denis Suarez, who not only plays in midfield, but also plays on the wings. He's quite an attack-minded player, like Ramsey can be. I just feel like Ramsey does a lot of work defensively as well, just because that's just what he's like. He's got such an engine on him. But Denis Suarez is definitely an interesting one. I think, potentially could be one of those signings that people think, what is that? And just kind of ignore it almost and just think it's a waste of money. But then all of a sudden, he's a baller. You don't know. He's at Barcelona for a reason. This guy has got ability, and maybe it needs to be, his career needs to be reignited by joining a club that will actually play him. So I'm very excited to see if this is true and if it's happening, and if so, how much it's going to be, and whether or not he gets in this team. Is he going to be playing on the right wing? I really would rather we bought an actual out-and-out winger. But maybe this is just one signing out of a few that are in the pipeline. Maybe it's just the only player that's available right now that we actually want to sign. So we'll see. But we are through into the next stage of the FA Cup. Well done to Blackpool. I thought they did very well tonight. As I've said, 3-0, very flattering. But Arsenal have made it through. It's a good result. And we go on to the next game. Thank you so much for watching. And I will see you guys next time.